are here to wake up, wake up, wake up together. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Well, hello there.
Hi, we're back.
I'm Cassie.
And I'm Victoria.
And yeah, today we're diving into the beautiful heart chakra and really coming into this incredibly magnificent energy center. We've been diving through each of the lower chakras over the last few weeks, coming up from the root to the sacral to the solar plexus, and now we're in the heart. And what a beautiful space to be. This heart space is actually the greatest electromagnetic center in our body, and it expands out the furthest, and that's why when we connect to each other in the heart, it's so beautiful and so deep, and we can really listen and receive each other when we're coming from the heart.
Yeah, and another cool fact about that is, I don't know if you guys have ever had the experience of thinking about someone maybe across the world, like let's say in Australia, and then you get a phone call or a message from them that day. That's because your heart center, your electromagnetic center is so huge, it reaches them across the globe. And that's where we can actually telepathically communicate with one another, is through the heart. So that's another cool fact about the heart. Yeah, we've been on this beautiful journey, like Cassie was just saying, through the chakras, and the energy really comes up from the earth into the root, and then the sacral, and then the solar plexus, and up into the heart, as well as down from the universe into our crown, brow, throat, and they both meet in the heart. And so the two energies are meeting together, and that's why the energy center is so big. It's because of that.
Yeah, and just what a beautiful space to be in and speak about. And want to say hello to Pam.
Hi,
if you're
Pam.
here, please say hi. Thank you for joining us.
I'm our biggest fan.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, wow. Receiving that right now. And the heart, this beautiful space, is all about receiving. It's where we can deeply receive our lives. We led a 7-day meditation journey a couple months ago now, it was, called Open to Receive. I am open to receive. And so what does that even mean? Like, I feel that for so much of my life I was going through, hi Pam,
I'm Pam.
going through the day-to-day and having all of these things on my to-do list and accomplishing a lot of things, but not really receiving that feeling of fulfillment from them, and not really receiving that deep sense of gratitude and joy for life. And so when we're not receiving each moment in our lives, we can get to that place where we just feel like we're doing, but nothing's really satisfying or fulfilling us. And so when we open to receive life, that means that we're actually receiving all that we're doing, and we're acknowledging and appreciating what we have and what we're doing in our lives, and appreciating the small moments, like waking up in the morning and taking your first breath. You know, not everyone gets to experience that. You know, there are people that pass away every single day, and so even that first breath of the day is a huge thing to receive and really acknowledge and be like, wow, I'm here. I'm here.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly it. You know, when we're in the heart, we're really in a deep state of presence. You know, we're able to really slow down and trust in the pace of life, and trust in the flow of our lives. And like you were speaking about before, when we're not in that space of receiving and in the heart, we're in that more do, go place. And that's really when we're kind of stuck in the solar plexus chakra, which we spoke about last week. And so it's a journey, you know, to get up here and to stay in the heart, because we are all holding on to different things that get in the way of us being fully present and being able to be fully in our hearts. And so this whole journey is about releasing everything that's in the way, like, you know, the past, releasing any emotions of guilt or shame or blame or anything that we're holding on to about ourselves, releasing that so that we can come up into our heart space. And then when we're in the heart, we can be fully present with life. You know, really present, and we don't have to move so fast. We want to move slower, and we value connection. We really want to connect with people. We want to connect with the activities that we're doing, and so that makes us a lot slower and a lot more thoughtful in our process. And in that space, you can really see the magic of life unfolding. You know, you can really see because you're slowed down and you're present. And yeah, like you said, you can value the connections that we have with each other, with ourselves, and with everything that's in our lives.
Yeah, beautiful. It's really incredible once you come up into this heart space and clear anything that's in the way. And so what can get in the way of having a fully flowing heart chakra? And really, the big one is grief. Holding on to grief from the past. We store grief from the past at the back of our heart, and more recent grief and pain at the front of our hearts. And so anytime that we don't allow ourselves to fully feel, fully express and move through and let an emotion move through us and be released, then we can hold on to it in this space, and we can block our ability to truly be present, and also block our ability to be accepting of ourselves and seeing ourselves with loving eyes, as opposed to the self-judgment that a lot of us feel and have that voice in our heads as we move throughout our lives. It's so common and it's so normal, and we experience it as well. But it's like that voice is able to be calmed and silenced a little bit and soothed when our heart chakra is open and flowing, and we can see ourselves as beautiful, loving beings that we are.
Yes, so much of that. Yeah. Yeah, and it's really all about, you know, presence, and I'm sure people have heard about this word. It's quite a word that gets thrown around a lot, and for myself has been quite like, what is this presence thing all about?
Yeah.
But once you really get to experience it, it's like, wow, it's being present with life, you know, and yes, life is always going to bring us experiences that may challenge us and may be difficult to move through. But when we can be present with the challenges, even the challenges and the good things, when we can be present with it, we start to see that it's all coming our way to actually help us to release whatever's in the way of being fully present all the time. And so, you know, this desire, I think most humans have this desire to be present, right? To be here now. And just that desire alone is what's helping us to release anything that's in the way of being fully in our hearts and fully present. And so it's really quite beautiful when you start to see it that way, and start to see that life is, it's like I see the heart as almost like a rose, you know, with the petals are unfolding, like a rose in spring, where the petals are slowly starting to open and unfold. And that's kind of the stage that we're in humanity right now, is this beautiful rose in our heart is unfolding. The petals are all unfolding into this fully bloomed, blossomed rose. And life is helping us to unfurl the petals through different experiences. It's helping to release any emotion or anything that's in the way, so that we can fully open and emerge into our heart space and fully be present and be here now with one another.
Yeah. Yeah, you're so right. It's an incredible time to be here on this planet as we journey, we've spoken about before, moving up from this space, which is the solar plexus, which is the taking, the energy taking, the control, the competition and conflict. And we're in the process right now, even though some days it might not feel like it, and that's okay. But overall, as a planet, we're moving up into the heart and into this space where past emotions aren't blocking our ability to be present. So really, when we release the things that are in the way, the past emotions, the traumas, and the pain, and we're able to be present, as you said, that doesn't mean that we're not going to experience low emotions or we're not going to feel pain or grief, but we're able to sit with it and be present with it and allow it to move through us in the moment, so it doesn't get stuck in the body and cause, you know, certain blocked heart chakra issues can be heavy shoulders, shoulder pain, back pain. And when we're able to release that in the moment by being present, then that stuff doesn't have time to accumulate within us.
Absolutely, yes. The accumulation is what causes the symptoms. And so, like you just said, when we're in our hearts and we're allowing life to move through us and knowing that everything is helping us to unfurl that beautiful rose, then it can't get stuck. And then we don't get these shoulder pains or feeling super heavily burdened or, you know, moving into a place of feeling closed down and shut down. It becomes a really beautiful unfurling. It's amazing. It's almost like I'm getting all poetic here. I don't usually get poetic, but it's almost like poetry when you're in the heart. You know, you start to see life as a really beautiful unfoldment of perfect synchronistic events that are helping us to really come into the moment, to really move up into the heart. And so, yeah, there is a lot of stuff happening in the world right now. There is a lot of seeming chaos and a lot of pain that people are moving through, and all of it, it's like we're in a purge. You know, we're in this really sacred time of releasing the pain from our body. So if you're experiencing pain or difficult challenges, just knowing that it's purposely happening, so you can burn through that stuff, so you can burn it through the solar plexus, which is the fire element, and come up into the heart, which is the air element, where we can expand and expand into the most amazing life, really, that you could ever dream of.
Yeah. Yeah, and a joyful life and a fun life. And I don't know about you guys, but when I'm in my head, which means I'm not present, then joy and fun and playfulness and magic of life, it's just out of reach. But it's nothing that's actually out of reach. It's just there are things sometimes in the way. And so when we're able to be present, we experience joy and deeper acceptance and compassion for ourselves, no matter what we're moving through. And with that allows us to experience acceptance and compassion for others, no matter where they are in their journey, no matter what they're experiencing or what their outward expression is. It's just a deep honoring, compassion, and a deep reverence for life and for the journey of life and for anything that anyone is going through, which is just such, it's like a sigh of relief to be able to see that in others and to first see it in yourself.
I love it when you just said a sigh of relief, and it's like all the weight on the shoulders, you know, as we come into the heart, all the weight comes off of our shoulders, where that weight comes from, like feeling responsible for where we're at, and also feeling responsible for where other people are at on their journey. And when we take that responsibility on, we tend to like want to change people and want to, you know, get better, because that's uncomfortable for me. But when we come into the heart and we're fully present with that, knowing that life is perfectly unfolding for everybody, then we're able to just accept exactly where everybody's at and be compassionate for where people are in their journeys.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel called to speak about being an empath as well. If you're someone who already feels a lot, we've done some videos on this before, but the tendency can be, and I've experienced this myself, is to want to fix people and take other people's pain on because I feel better when I have their pain and they don't have it, because I don't have to watch them in pain. And so a lot of us do that, and really, you know, that's a burden on our shoulders. That's something we take on that isn't our responsibility, and so that can lead to that weightedness in the shoulders and that heaviness in your heart. And so, yeah, just recognizing that your journey is your own journey, and that everyone is on their own perfectly unfolding journey, and that the really, really challenging things that may be coming up right now, the pain and the grief and whatever emotions are coming up, they're coming up to be burned through right now, so we can expand into the present moment and be present and connect to joy and love and light and just the wonder and awe of life.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, and it's such a, there's such an allowance that comes in, an acceptance and an allowance for life. And it just, for myself, I feel so safe when I'm in my heart. You know, I feel like everything's okay. Like everything's okay, everything's unfolding perfectly, and I feel really safe in my body and super calm and at ease, and like I want to connect to people, and I want to connect to life. Whereas on the, you know, when the heart is closed down, it's like there's a tendency to want to hide from life or avoid things, or not look at certain things in your life because it's a bit scary, right? It's like, I don't want to look at that. But when we allow ourselves to look and see the parts of ourselves that are in pain, you know, when we actually allow ourselves to move through that and see those parts and nurture them and love them, then we can move into the heart. It's almost like bringing like the child version of ourselves into our heart and nurturing that part of ourselves that may have had some pain in the past, and just to nurture ourselves and love ourselves. And the more we can do that, the more we can shift into our hearts, the safer we feel in our own bodies.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it brings in this concept of self-love. You know, there's so many quick fix tools and courses out there on self-love. But really, it all comes down to that aspect of self-nurturing and accepting and loving and being okay with whatever comes up within you. And that allows those layers of pain and emotion to fall away. So you can be more present and in the heart. And that's really where self-love is available. It's like, yeah, it's loving all of those pieces, and loving that when you're able to shake them off and release them, that you are able to be more present and truly connect with other people. Yeah, for me, it's like this journey of self-love is sometimes talked about as like this individual, like solo journey. I gotta love myself, but it's really like opening ourselves to connect with others and feel safe being in the heart is really what self-love is, because you're allowing yourself to experience connection, which is like the biggest thing that we can do.
Yeah, it's everything. You know, we are so intimately connected to each other by energy. We can't see it, so a lot of people don't understand it because it's not tangible, but we are so connected by energy, and so we really impact and affect one another. And so when we can nurture ourselves and come into our hearts, then we can experience a more loving world, really, because we feel each other so deeply. Yeah, there's a little tip if anybody's going through some challenging times at the moment that I've been using, is to bring that challenge, because a lot of the time it's triggering the child. You know, it's triggering that aspect of us that has been afraid in the past. And so if something's happening to you in this moment now that you're moving through, you can really bring that aspect of you into your heart. And so just calling it in, you know, whatever the experience is that you're going through, bring that experience and place your hands on your heart and just feel it in your heart. And then you can take a few deep breaths while you sit with it here and let yourself feel it. And if it makes you cry, cry. You know, just feel whatever it is that wants to come up so that energy can move. And then you'll notice, because you've given yourself that time to nurture yourself and love yourself, you'll feel so much like safer, more grounded and present, and that means you're in the heart. And so that's a really beautiful process that you can move through.
Yeah, thank you. It's funny how it can seem like allowing yourself to fully go there and feel it can seem so scary, and like that's not something we want to do, when really it's the key to move through it. Because we've all gotten a lot of experience shoving things down as we grow up. It's like, oh, I'll deal with that later. Oh, no thanks, not a good time. So whenever it comes up now, if you have the time and space, really allowing. The heart is all about allowing what shows up, allowing ourselves to be in whatever we're in. And as we shared before, it's like when we allow that, then we're able to process it through our bodies now, and we don't stuff down and accumulate things over time.
Absolutely. Yeah, the heart is where we heal. It's where we heal. So bringing that aspect up into your heart, taking the time to feel it, that's what will heal it. It moves it through, like you said. And then we can, you know, and then it's almost like you're building trust with yourself too. When you do take those moments to move through an emotion or a challenge that's occurring for you, it builds trust, it builds self-trust. And as we trust ourselves more, then we can safely live more in our hearts.
Yeah. The sound of the heart chakra is and so, you know, even if you feel some heaviness in your heart, toning to the sound of or letting out a sigh of relief like that, it's vibrating at the frequency of the heart chakra. And it's been so great to speak about the heart today. And as we move up these energy centers, today we're in the heart, the energy frequency increases as we're moving up. And so our ability to expand and to live a more expansive and free life is really brought to life as we move up through the chakras. And so that's why this journey is just so fun and exciting, and we're so happy to share this with you guys.
Yeah, thank you for being with us in the heart today. And we'll see you guys next week for throat chakra.
And in the meantime, if anyone would like any support in moving through anything with the heart chakra or in any of the energy centers that we've talked about before, any lingering emotion or whatever you're going through, reach out to to us, and we would love to, we'd love to chat and possibly even work with you and give you a bioenergy healing session to help release some of that stored energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're here for you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Mwah. Bye.